most of it's just Port-au-Prince and a couple cities right around there. Then further up into the mountains, a different direction.
Yes, where I'm taking this team, brother, you actually take a bus 6 hours to the city of Lakai. You have Camp Haitian, Port-au-Prince, and Lakai. Lakai's out in the south. And then you take motorcycles you saw riding across the river. You ride for about 4 hours through canyons and across rivers and so forth. And then there's a camp we've established up there. And you saw the toilets and the showers at the end. The toilets, we've got the only flushing toilets for about 30 miles, but you've got to pour the water in the toilet to make it flush. And then we've got bucket showers. You go in, you take your bucket and you pour the water on your head. And but those villages up there that we're up there working in, they're only accessible by feet. This team, the first day, we're going to hike up over the mountain into the village of Melkushan, which is about 2 hours. Then we hike for another hour into the village of Pela. Then we go up the mountain again for 2 hours into the village of Pavillon. Some of the villages up there, like the village of Nicolo, is 7 hours by feet. You go to the ridge of the mountain, and then you go up and down 23 times. We say when you get ready to see Jesus, you arrive. And then you go.
You used to live right in the Pela area?
I used to live in Baina.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I planned on moving to Pela, but then I ended up moving to Baina instead.
That's where we were going to go, right?
Yes, yes. Alan was going to come live up there with me for a period of time. But then there's another village actually past that one that's called the village of Magio, and it's 8 hours by feet. And so when I was living up there, it used to be that I would go first. When I went to Nicolo when I was younger, I could go up there and come down in the same day. But then it got to where I'd go up there and stay the night for 2 or 3 nights and come down because it was just a distance to get up there to it. And but you can go to the village of Derivo, and Derivo is where they do all their marketing. And so on Tuesdays and Fridays, I would always go to Derivo, because all the villages would come down to Derivo and they would be trading eggs for beans or pumpkins or something, you know. And so I would go and I would buy fried bread, and I would get me a hot soda. And not that I wanted anything, but just so that I could get the latest news on the villages of what was taking place up in those remote villages, yeah. And the nearest hospital up there, once again, 30 miles by feet. And so in 2011, 2012, there was a cholera outbreak up there. And in an area of about 5,000 people, 70 people died within 6 weeks, over 70 people. And they were dying coming down off the mountains. By the time they figured out that they had cholera, and cholera you have extreme vomiting, extreme diarrhea. You can't stop it. And by the time you find out you have it, and then you're going to try to walk for 30 miles, it's not going to happen. And so Miriam, and there's a group called Global DIRT, which is Disaster International Relief Team. They came out, and the World Health Organization, and they sent supplies up, and we were able to establish 5 cholera camps up there. And after that, only 2 people died. Yeah. But I'll tell you, even God worked it out for his good. I had opportunity. I would go and visit the 5 camps every day and pray with the people that were there. And so then at the end of the week, they would usually stay in our camp for a week. And so at the end of the week, it was real easy to share Jesus with them after praying with them every day for a week. Yeah. God worked it out for his glory. Yeah. But they're the poorest of the poor up there. And a lot of times, we were trying to teach them terrace farming, because they were planted on the side of the mountain and the rains come and wash everything to the bottom. But if you could teach them the terrace farming. But wonderful, loving, it's just a different group of, and when you get out there, Port-au-Prince has been inundated with missionaries. You've got every mission organization brother in there. Same thing with Camp Haitian and Lakai's and Jeremy and some of these others. But when you get out there in some of the remote areas, and maybe where you guys are going, you don't see missionaries tripping over each other. There's not mission agencies going in there, and so you really have an opportunity to do something.
We're not far from Port-au-Prince, but there are only a handful of groups that go there where we go on a regular basis, and they're all connected to the same
Okay.
people, but it's not overwhelmed.
Right.
Because when we did not go last year, it did leave a void of what we had been doing. There was no one who picked up and filled that void.
Building those relationships, those long-term relationships. One thing that's really hurt missionaries going down there is they'll go down there and they'll build half a church, wear their team t-shirts, and come back and say, okay, now you guys finish it. And oh, hallelujah, we did something. And they don't leave them any money to do anything with. And so then they leave and the weeds take it over, and you see so many unfinished buildings down there because they've just abandoned the project and they never went back. And I'm not trying to diminish the Haitian people at all, but a lot of times when something breaks in Haiti, they just put it alongside and keep running the next one. They used to have Haitian Airlines. When you fly in, I think you can still see one of the old Haitian Airlines planes. And when a plane would break down, they will park it and take parts off of it to fix the other one. That one will break down, they'll take parts off of it until finally the last one broke down and they shut down the airline. And other companies have moved in there, but then they just shut down because the Haitian people will run it until they run it in the ground. And they fix it with duct tape and bubble gum.
Well, that's
Yeah, they
that's
do with the tap, yeah.
That comes from not having the money to
Right.
do it the right way.
Right, and not having Lowe's Hardware, Home Depot, or something to go to. Yeah, they just kind of make the parts by hand, and they're scared people. They're scared of the dark. They're scared of in a lot of the houses they have pea pots because they don't want to go outside in the dark to go make bathrooms in the rural areas. They're scared of the fog. If the fog comes in, they're scared of the fog, what might be inside the fog. They're scared of storms. They're a scared people, but they are a loving people. They really are.
And the parts that you're talking about, that's the poorest parts of Haiti, is also the parts that got hit the hardest by Hurricane Matthew this last fall.
Yeah, I haven't been down there. That's one reason that we're going down into this area, is because I've not been there to check on them. And I want to kind of go and I want to take this team. This is only the third white team that I've ever led through the mountains. And so, yeah, I want to go check on them and kind of see how they're doing. And, hopes of going back.
So how long is your trip going to be?
We'll drive to Atlanta on June the 11th. We fly June 12th and come back June 20th.
Pretty much the same length as ours.
About the same length. But what we're doing on our trip, we're the first day we're going to go visit New Life, go downtown, get our bus tickets, go to City Soleil. City Soleil, they actually make mud cookies. And these mud cookies have absolutely no nutritional value. They make them out of mud, some spices, and oil, and they dry them in the sun. And what it is, the women feed their children these mud cookies because their stomachs are hurting. And they cry. And so they're trying to put something on their stomach because they don't have any food. And you can buy the mud cookies for a good or less. You can get like 2 mud cookies for a good, which it's 68 goods to $1 US. And so we can't even calculate it.
It's like a penny.
Penny, yeah, you can buy a mud cookie for a penny. But it's made from their mud. And once again, their dirt is polluted.
Well, they now what they do, there is a certain area where they actually go to get the mud they use, because supposedly some legend has it that this particular mud and clay mixture has some sort of powers that can help with health and prosperity and things like that, and that's all ties back to the voodoo culture.
Yeah.
And the women buy it on credit, so they buy the mud on credit.
Make the cookies and sell them to all their neighbors, and then pay for it.
So it's a tough place. In the mountains, you don't find the mud cookies. In the mountains, And on the coastal areas, you'll find the people more healthier, like on the islands, they eat a lot of fish. They go catching the fish. And so you'll find them a lot more healthy on the islands. And protein, yeah. In the mountains, you find a lot of rice with bean sauce. And then they also have, which is very tasty, they have a palm tree heart, which they take the bark of the palm tree and they dry it and they burn it. And they take the leaves and they make houses. And the heart of the palm tree, they make a squash casserole. It's very tasty. And then they take elephant ear roots, and you can wash the roots of the elephant ear, and then you can roast them on the fire, and the skin tastes like popcorn and the roots taste like white potatoes. And then they were roasting some grubs up there, but I already had my full fill of palm tree hearted elephant ear roots. I didn't want to try the grubs. I had a friend that did. I had a friend that
Palm
did.
tree hearts when you were up at Glen.
I think that's one of the things that we had up on the mountains was that
Palm tree
that
heart.
one casserole, whatever, that we didn't know what it was. I think was
Palm tree
palm
heart.
tree hearts.
We ate in
Probably.
Hawaii, we ate palm tree hearts raw.
Okay, tasty.
Yeah, we just sliced it.
Okay.
Ate it raw. It was a little bit like a turnip or a kohlrabi or
Okay.
something like that, but we ate it raw.
This they made us casserole.
And it takes the flavor of whatever you're cooking, so the
Yeah.
spices.
Yes, yes.
What is the thing you just said? The other thing you ate? What's it called again? You just
Elephant
said
ear roots?
No.
Palm tree heart.
Grubs.
Called the grubs.
What is that?
Worm. White grub worm.
It's a
They
worm.
roasted
Well, I don't know
it.
what a grub is.
A
A
bug.
worm.
It's a white worm.
Like a short, skinny worm.
It's a fat club worm.
Come
healthier
to
than a
my
monkey.
house this afternoon. I'll show you some.
Roast her up some.
Yeah. Turn over an old log, you'll see them.
Yeah. The chickens like them.
Well, I like chicken, but I don't like worm.
Don't mess with the animals down there either. I wouldn't mess with the dogs. If you see any dogs, leave them alone. Don't.
They don't even look like dogs. They look like stick figures.
They're mangy, nasty looking creatures.
Well, the goats you can play with, right?
You can play with the goats before you eat them. The chickens, they call them TB chickens because the reason they call them TB chickens, we'll be holding medical clinics and somebody with TB will hack and spit on the ground and 1,000 chickens come to clean it up. It's terrible.
And the chickens are malnourished too.
Even the chickens are malnourished.
Wow.
Right, that's why they call them TB chickens.
Yeah. The chickens are malnourished because the Haitians eat all the grub
That's
worms.
right.
Better sounding better all the time.
Yeah, but the chickens are fast too. They know if they
Oh,
get
yeah.
caught, they're getting
Fast
baptized in bacon grease. They are fast chickens. I know, right.
While we have this large group here, the one thing I want to ask, for those of you who were involved in the jewelry sales, did you get a chance to look into any of the videos or any of the history of the Apparent Project? For those of you who don't know, the Apparent Project was started by a woman who actually went to Haiti in 2009 to adopt a child. She thought that was what she was called to do to help with this situation, was to bring a child out of poverty by adopting a child and bringing it back to the United States. She got down there and she found out the orphanage she went through, all the children who lived in this orphanage had living parents. And she tried to figure out why are they in an orphanage if they have living parents? And it's because what you saw in the pictures, all these malnourished children, the parents don't want their children to die, so they'll surrender them to an orphanage so that the orphanage can take care of them and keep them alive. So she changed her focus to, instead of adopting a child, she changed her focus to keeping these children with their family by empowering Haitians and employing them to do this work, which is why I think that using the Apparent Project as a fundraiser is an amazing idea.
I saw another ministry down there too. If you can empower the people, that's the thing. Not just keep giving them handouts. There's another ministry in the South, and they bring the women in and they teach them hand embroidery. And then what they do is they send them home with a package. And they go home and they'll hand embroider these doilies and handkerchiefs and aprons and all these. They come back and they trade it in. They get a piece of money for their work, and then they get another package to go home and start making that one. And the people who are doing that are selling it on the high-end market in Italy and New York. And I mean, it's hand embroidered, so it's both on the same side. Beautiful work that they've done. And the Haitians, I'm telling you, they're very crafty. I mean, they can really do some beautiful work, but empowering them. And then you don't need overhead in making the hand embroidery. You don't have a factory. All you have is just the one area where they're putting the kits together. That's it. And so you're not having to pay an overhead cost. Things like that are just
How easy would that be?
oh,
So
teach some hand embroidery or anything like that. Yes.
So that being said, that should help you understand why we are not teaching VBS. Valmy is hiring Haitians to teach VBS. We are going down there to provide support. We want them to do this. We're empowering them to be leaders in their church, leaders in their community. We're hiring Haitians to cook the food. We're buying the food that we feed them in Haiti.
We're buying
Okay.
everything we can.
Everything
in
we
Haiti.
can buy, we're buying in Haiti.
Not necessarily because we can't buy it here, or we can't afford, or we can't take it down there, but anything that we can buy there supports their economy.
Better for them if we buy it from them.
Rather than us hauling stuff from here, and then that's something that doesn't get bought in Haiti, so there's a store owner that doesn't get that income.
And that's why when we, in the afternoons, when we go out into the community in our groups, which my intention is to have 3 or maybe 4 groups that goes out each day, and I say each day, some of the days, but I want you in particular to keep your eye out for a little shop that does artisan work, or a little shop that does something, or some sort of a business that used to say, hey, it wouldn't take very much for us to be able to invest in this business to help them to expand, to be able to hire more people in Haiti. That is, so, you know, we have to work with our translators and say, hey, do you know a place like this, that where some guy who makes crafts, or do we know a guy? I mean, I know, like, I was down there, and this would be a difficult one to do, but I know there's a guy who does woodworking down there, makes furniture.
Stamping out,
Yeah.
they take those old drums and the metalworks,
Right.
and they do all that handwork, beating out all that metal and all that craftswork.
So any stuff like that, something I'd like to do. There's a group here. I know Pam's involved in it. There's a group here that they make bed mats out of plastic Walmart
yes.
bags.
Yep.
And I know that those are all over the place down there.
Yep.
So if you could collect those up and teach someone how to make bed mats, you could, you know, take that bed mat and trade it to a guy who's got vegetables, and he can have a bed and you can have vegetables, and
Right.
you know, so different things like that is what I want us to spend our afternoons, you know, do the VBS in the morning and feed at lunchtime, and then spend our afternoons searching for opportunities that we can help them grow a business and hire more people. And
It's an amazing place, and there's such great opportunity down there too. And you know, I've had people ask me, Pastor, how does somebody give away their child? You know, how could you give away your child? But especially out in the mountains when they're trying to pass them through the window, you know, as you're passing by.
When it's the difference between life and death.
Right. They
You
love
want-
the child enough to give it away.
Right, yeah, because they think they're giving it to something.
It's
else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, was it Solomon in the Bible that decided
Cut the woman in half, cut the baby in half.
Yeah, decided who the mother was of the baby by
Right.
saying that they were going to cut the baby in half and give half to each.
The real
and-
mama said, no, just give it to her. And Solomon said, you're the real mama.
because she had the love for the child that knew that didn't want the child to die. So
Amen.
so I don't want you to be afraid now at this point, but I want to make sure that if anyone has any question related to Haiti or this particular trip or anything at all that you're concerned about, whether it's, you know, how much spending money should I take to, am I going to get kidnapped or anything in between, ask the question because there are several of us here who have been there and who can help answer the question. And don't be afraid to speak up. And this group setting is a great place to get questions answered.
Or concerns aired, or
Right.
just anything you need to get off your chest. And I guess don't discount what happens in the spiritual realm between now and when we leave either.
Yeah,
I know
like
things in
power
my
outages.
life are starting to get crazy already, so
Like power outages. And
yeah, power outages
Flat
and
tires.
cars breaking down and blowing tires and
You're going on a mission trip, you can expect the devil to work against you. Especially Haiti, you're going in his backyard. Yeah.
backyard, living room.
That's what I just said.
we have the schedule of the things we're doing as far as the trip. VBS at Damian on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and VBS at Biggerod on Monday and Tuesday. Friday afternoon after lunch, it's not officially scheduled, but the plan is to take a tour of the Apparent Project Artisan House. And then Saturday, we've arranged for a beach day. What I really think is cool about this is the last 2 times we went on a beach day, the beach we went to was about $30 a person. And it included some perks. You know, we got that $30 got us a couple of drinks, and we had a meal and some things like that. Valmy found us a beach, a really nice beach apparently. Someone looked it up on YouTube or on Google. But it's $15 a person. But if there's the group is 10 or more, then they knock $5 off the price. So our beach is $10 per person. And we don't have a meal. You can bring a peanut butter sandwich. Or they have a restaurant there, and if you're brave enough, you can get food at the Haitian restaurant.
Is it safe?
Take your chances.
Take some of those.
Probably
have good goats too.
Well done is your friend.
I've ate at Haitian restaurants, but
And
I'm not sure
Imodium.
that it was well
Haiti,
done. I wouldn't eat any vegetable, because they're vegetable, I mean, I like uncooked vegetables.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat anything raw.
They put lettuce on I wouldn't eat the lettuce, because it's been washed in their water.
That's your
might
option there.
Might
We
have
won't have-
residual dirt on it or anything.
We won't have lunch, but we'll have. I mean, there's a place to eat. You can bring your own lunch, but they won't. That's not part of the package.
Make up some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Those are the
Yes,
best.
you can, and
That's one thing that is always available at New Life is bread and peanut butter and jelly.
And you know what's really
24
neat?
hours a day.
What was really neat about the way we did peanut butter and jelly, I thought this was awesome. We made the sandwiches the night before, stuck them back. We got a couple loaves of bread, made the sandwiches, put the sandwiches back in the bread bag and stuck it in the freezer. And then when we took them out the next day frozen, and then we packed them along, and by lunchtime they were thawed out and ready to eat.
The jelly stay fresh.
We're taking peanut butter and
On your
Yes.
packing list is a jar of peanut butter and a jar of jelly.
Has to go in your check bag.
strawberry.
I would wrap everything up, anything that is liquid or.
Put it in a Ziploc
Put it in a
baggie.
freezer bag, zip it up, shampoo, anything like that. I wouldn't take anything scented. Like, I wouldn't wear like colognes and stuff like that. It's an attraction for bugs. Yeah, mosquitoes will chase you down. So, I wouldn't bring.
And one thing we can kind of arrange is not everybody needs to take a bottle of body wash, bottle of shampoo, bottle of whatever. I mean, we can save the room and save the headache, you know, a couple bottles of whatever for the girls and a couple bottles of whatever for the guys is more than plenty for the time we're going to be down there.
Sharing is caring. Most of the
And
time.
Don't share that.
I said most of the time.
And the other thing that's on our packing list that hasn't been in the past is a set of twin sheets. Because New Life has told us that they are short of sheets, and that the sheets that we bring are far superior quality to the sheets that they get there, so.
Again, check that packing list, because one of the things on there, George talked about it, toilet paper.